Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Hi,
Hello.
Bonsoir, yeah, bonsoir.
bonsoir. Ah oui, 6 p.m. That's true. Oh my God. Two USDC today. No, this week. Ah, bonjour, bonjour. Nice, nice, nice. So let's wait a bit. I'm taking my flight today for going into Turkey, Istanbul. It's gonna be like it's it's Istanbul next week, I think. Um, all right, all right. Um, Aidan, by the way, we have another session at 8 p.m. UTC, so in 4 hours, but in Spanish.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a little confused because that's 4 p.m. here, but it is fine.
It's it's 4 p.m. here for you?
I'm right now in Bolivia,
4 a.m.
so no, it's 4 p.m.
Ah, oops. I was afraid that for you it's like 4 a.m.
No, no, don't worry. Right now it's just midday, so we are UTC. Let's four, I think. Yeah, let's four.
All right. Okay, so just um I will put Duke. Oh, but you are not on the chat. Let me add you on the chat. It's gonna be better for you. Right. Group info.
Ready to back. So yeah, that's good. I really like the word code vibing actually. I don't know why. I remember the first time I heard about it, like a lot of devs were like, what is this? But it sounds like really cool. Code vibing. The problem is when code vibing converts in code debugging and you have to play a lot with errors. So that is what we will try to avoid.
All right. I think we can start in like 2 minutes. I'm just putting a reminder somewhere.
All right. I will prepare.
And so sorry because like on Luma, in fact, I double checked today. Um, when everyone sent the message. Like because on Luma, um, I checked with Daniel and like in fact the hour was not the good one, but right now it's okay. So all good. All right.
Okay. All right. I will try to share my screen.
Mm, I
Oh,
don't know
wait.
what to expect. Hi Mirella.
It's fine. Wait. I'm giving permissions. I need to reopen soon. Give me a second, please, to get grant permissions for the screen.
Are we? Really? No, it's okay.
No, it's for me. It's because Mac
Security.
is asking me. So give me a second.
All good. Ah, Chicago. All right, all right. Ooh, toot, toot. So we have also like a Spanish session, but in 4 hours for those who prefer in Spanish. Huh, Mirella? Spanish, Spanish.
Not me.
We can't hear you, Alton. We can't hear you, sorry. How not to hallucinate.
Can you hear me now, right? Sorry.
Yes.
All
Good.
right, so welcome to the workshop on how not to hallucinate too much at least, because I don't know if you could buy it before, but that's the problem always. We have to like we have a lot of problems here, and I don't know where I saw this like before, and code vibing is more code debugging than code vibing itself. And as much we are trying to like I don't know even if we are trying to have clean architecture or clean code or whatever, so this becomes a real problem. So honestly, I will share a little of my experience about how I serve the agents and how I take this for projects, not just for hackathons. The objective of this specifically is for hackathons or projects that are MVPs. But honestly, this is something that I also use for work a lot. So yeah, I think it will be a really interesting session. By the way, the slides were made on agents too, so I really like this even too for the slides. So it's very cool. So let's dive in. So really simple. This is honestly the only slide that we were talking about what it is and what it or whatever descriptions itself. Oh no, the next slide is also the same. But for whoever is here and it is not like really set up on the vibes and maybe it's more focused on our area. Basically, by coding is like coding assistant, creating any program, any application that you want without the necessity to know like code itself. It's basically bright ideas that you want for the code or for the application in a natural language. It could be English, Spanish, whatever you want, and let the agents create the code. Uh, there is several ways to do this, but like the ways that we can separate it on the regular AI. Regular AI is this prompting that we can go directly on and straight to ChatGPT and ask, please create me, I don't know, a TikTok new application. Please make it fast. Please make it good. And for sure, ChatGPT will return, I don't know, 2 files of code, and we will be like, yeah, this is my new TikTok. But now it is, sorry for the word, but it's trash. So everyone at this point maybe know that regular AI cannot really process well the code. And this is when agentic coding is coming. Like, well, it's not like coming, it's not something really new at this point. You know that in things in AI move like really fast. The only place that maybe it has battle with AI and how fast it grows is blockchain. Every week a new release is coming. Every week something new is happening. So what is agentic coding? Basically, instead of having this chat and conversation straight without context, we have more context. We have multi-step autonomous executions. And this is the regular that you know, like for Copilot, for Cloud Code, for Cursor, and everything. So we will be focusing on this, on the agentic coding. And as I was saying, that's all the description that I have about like coding, sorry, about agentics, about descriptions or whatever, because the workshop is focused on really like the recommendations, tools, and things that we can use actually on the hackathon, in this hackathon on Aleph. Let's go and dive in the first. As you see,
Question.
Yeah.
Like probably if you can large like having
Oh, sorry.
yeah. Nice.
Maybe like this is better. All right. Let me click OK on that. All right, you will see that a lot of all of the topics that I have are coming from Twitter. But Twitter, maybe you heard before, is a really good place to take not documentation, maybe like you have to filter a lot of stuff. But you will find a really good resource at least to, I don't know, to have recommendations for the hackathon, for the AI agentic. There's a lot of prompts that the people that try to improve day by day. So it's a good place. But starting for the recommendation itself, let's talk about like, all right, where I should start. So, all right, I want to develop an application. In this case, we will take a Farcaster mini app. Actually, I will show you like how I started to do. Where I put the link. Let me give me a second. It's because I have. Right. So for today, what we will be, our objective is to develop this. It's a Farcaster Lite. It's a simple game of guess. Honestly, it's just simple as that. You will see that it is incomplete because I didn't want to complete it. You will see that there is a lot of errors. The timer is what? It was correct. And, all right, that was about that. What? All right, usually it's incorrect. That was what I was saying. Like it was weird to be correct because we cannot even read what it is. So you will see that there is a lot of mistakes. This is because at the end we will like interacting with the agent and see like the things that at least is the process for me to debug and also to execute new tasks. So that's basically the objective. But let's assume that we are starting the workshop. So how do I start, or how like I saw a lot of people or recommendations on Twitter goes and start. So the first thing is to prevent the token limits. You will see that working with AI it became a little bit expensive if you don't really limit the things that you will do. Before it was a little more free, like open at least. For example, Cursor, I think for 2 weeks was unlimited. You could use anything that you want, and you want like make your bill like giant. But today that's not the case, and actually, like each month, like they cut a little bit more about like the tokens or the limits that you will use. So there is not unlimited way right now. For example, just 2 weeks ago, if you want to use automatic mode, what I'm saying is this automatically mode, it was unlimited. Like you didn't know which is the model that they will be using, but it was unlimited. But right now it's not. So more than never, you have to like take care about your token limits. And what I really like to do is to come here first to ChatGPT and also to Grok. I don't know who to. I will put this in the back. All right. I don't know if you guys talk with Grok. Sometimes Grok is the agent from X, from Twitter, but it's really cool in the context. If you change this to expert, you don't have unlimited, so you have to take like care. I'm using Grok and ChatGPT as free. But I usually come to ChatGPT, like iterate a little bit, and then ask Grok to do the rest of the work. Grok is really good for the context, so it will be bring like more details about the application that we want or we expect to do. But in this case, I just leave it with the idea of the ChatGPT. So it's simple as that. Why? Because in this case, for sure, it's something that you already done, like interact with the ChatGPT. But in this case, we have to think about like, all right, how is the best way to save tokens for me? So that's like the first and the basics for sure. The next is trying to use. Let's go to the thing. The next is a tool for task management. So if you come like from the past making code like for production, you could be a developer or whatever. Like even if you're not a developer yourself, that you have to manage yourself by task, right? So a big problem about AI is something that you bring context on each chat, But all the work that they were doing, I don't know if in the past iteration, or I don't know even if it is a big repository, and last week you were working on some specific button, and today you lost that context, and you ask, I don't know, please change the background. Let's say just something stupid, right? They don't know like if that why that button has that style, and they will assume they can change that. So if you don't put that context in something specific, you can change everything inside and hallucinate something or whatever, and you will lose a lot of the progress that you did last week. So what is this task management? Basically, task management is to have any tool. Could be even if you're like really organized, just to set up a specific rules. But I will show you what I use. Oh, sorry, this is the slides that I also mentioned. Like the slides are called Vibe also. So let me go to the right repository. So this is a repository for the Farcaster Mini app. And what is this task? I don't know if you saw this before, but it is really cool. So what is task management? So basically, when you create the repository and you bring the context, I will show you my context on this. This is my context. The context on this is usually called PRD. So in the PRD, I specify what I want for the application, are the core features, what are usually you also put the limits like if, for example, we are creating a mini app for Farcaster, you can say avoid, I don't know, interacting with another API, for example, or avoid having big images because you will be using this inside another application. So maybe you want to focus on good performance, for example. So I have here my description. I have core features that this will have, some definitions for the features, but it's really simple right now, and some technical stuff. So all right, so it's really simple. Honestly, a lot of this was also created by the AI itself. I will show you this the tool that I use. But to bring you some context, this is the what I'm seeing by sorry. This is by what I mean about task management. Having in a structure in the way that the AI can say, all right, this was the first task, and I am in the
You
I don't know
zoom
in the
if
sorry.
could you zoom if possible?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I zoomed the other place and I didn't zoom here, right? Let me one more, I think. All right, this should be okay. So sorry, what I was saying here, right? These tasks are ordered in a way that each task is dependent on the previous one. For example, the first one is really simple. It's just create a responsive HTML structure, and the last one is sorry. The next one is dependent on the first. What you gain here basically is like, all right, when I do the task number 8, I don't know, and depends on the task number 2, 5, and 6 I will have the context. All right, I already work on this, so I don't have to touch this part, and I can work specifically on the task that I have in this limitation of the task, and that will avoid any hallucination that you have, any problems, and yeah, for sure, less bugs. That's not like a way to avoid any bugs because you will have bugs, but it is a way to be more sure. Later on this workshop, like in 10 minutes, I guess, we will see how to create this, so don't worry, but this is like to have the same context on this. I forgot to add a link. I put in links here. Oh, all right. I don't know how many of you are also familiar with rules. Rules is something that you put in different sections. You can put rules at project level, at user levels, or you can put also an agent instruction, right? We will see just in project rules and user rules because this is the ones that I use most. So basically, I'm sharing my experience on it. So it's I will show you. What are the rules on this project section? So I put the basics. I put first credit quality guidelines rules. All right. So sorry, I didn't explain what it's rules itself. Rules, it's a section like where you specify to the agent, right? What's the guidelines that I want to go for this specific repository for this specific project, or even if I put at user level for my whole user, let's say that for all the projects that this user manage, right? So these are the rules that I manage on the on the repository level. So just for this project, you will see that I am using the basic ones. The code quality that are always should be don't try to make code that I didn't ask. Preserve always uh, good good test. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I'm trying to explain. I can just read it. Don't ask for confirmation information already provided in the context. I don't know. I always provide links to real files. Uh, stuff like that, right? Self-improve is something that it comes by default. React rules, because we will be using React to manage states, to manage hooks, the component structure. So it's really on that. And don't think that I make these files. I took it from another guys. Oh, I didn't put the link. I will update this slide because I will share the link to have like the reference from where I got this. Let me check if I did it. No, I don't have it here. But it's really easy to find it. Or other way, you can also search on in the ChatGPT, ask for rules for your specific project. What is a good practice, even if another AI created? Because again, everything about the agents is about the context. If you put enough context about what you want for the AI, your project will improve a lot and your project will be better. Even if it is just for the hackathon, or if it is your project like your work project, that it is like a big repository, this is good. And if it is a repository project like for your work, your context should be, yeah, you should have a lot of context. This, if you have a context for each feature, each big feature that you have, it's really cool because that saves a lot of problems on your code. How my user looks like, it's
When you have
again,
question, don't hesitate to just talk because I don't think it can see the chat history.
yeah, please. I will make a little pause after just this to read the chat, but let me finish this
Raise the
section.
hand.
Yeah, sorry for that. So what's my user rules? It's really simple. It's this. You're a senior front-end developer and expert in React. Use this. It's a little. I remember that I modified it. So this is basically what is the code environment. I remember that I add the last ones. Yeah, it's because for example, I like Sustan for state management. So always prefer Sustan. If you see that a company has more than one responsibility, please separate in different components. So if you are into development, you will see that it's basically code lines that everyone can search on the internet and you will get it. I will go to some to read if it is any question. If not, we can just go.
There is a question, yes.
Why in JSON format? It's more easy, even for us and for the AI to interpret. As much as you have a structured way to show like the data, it's good, but you have to have a method. For example, that's the base of the NCPs, the language that you have with AIs. For example, I was taking before the slides, I tried to do the slides, but I got problems. But yeah, nice to see that V0 can create it. Sorry, about this, talking about the structures of the AIs. It's also because you have to clear communicate with the engine and be very specific. For example, this is from Farcaster, and they have a section that like directly focuses on the agents. So it doesn't have to be JSON specifically because, for example, this page is still an HTML. But as much as you provide enough context and enough like guidelines, it's okay. Uh, oh, I come back to soon. All right. Do you use a paid version of? Yeah, I use a paid version. I know that you can use the free version like uh, for like 2 weeks. I could say that it is enough if you want to do an MVP, but honestly, if you want to go a little more deep on that, it's not enough. Sadly, right now, like almost every tool that you want to use with AI is a paid version. So that's why like the first slide that I have is like how to save tokens. It's like maybe the most important part because when I was starting on this, I was playing a lot. I burn a lot of accounts also like, and I have mixed accounts. I use Cursor. In this case, I will show only Cursor because I think it's more easy to set up. But for example, I like more cloud. And I think it's because I just got more accustomed to it and you interact with a CLI, but you can also mix your tools. Can you say that rules is the same as setting the context with? No itself. Then disease is entirely like to for the context of their I know there is a better way to explain. Like I will explain my words, but there is documentation about cloud if I'm not wrong. Like what's the difference itself? But rules go in each execution. When you type something on the agent, like please generate whatever, this will go and take the context of the rules and will verify that you are like getting the rules on your code. Like if your component, the new component that you create is following the rules of Cursor. But then the description that you have on the MDC is not always in the context. You have or to tag the context or bring the context according to the feature that you are developing there. I see that there's
Can
a
I
hand.
have a quick one? Just like
Yeah,
as a
sure.
follow option in chat. For example, something applied to Farcaster or base mini apps, right? So we know that they do have both Farcaster and base. They do have like extensive documentation on like mini app vibe coding, like like in the text format that you can actually extract and paste into your LLM. So those files, where would they go? Can they also be like specified as a rule in this case?
Like the communication that you set up with them, you
Like
say?
those documentation files that we can find on Base and Farcaster websites in the section where like they guide us like step by step how to wipe a minimap. I mean that kind of context. Yeah.
All right, I understand now. Uh, if I have to take the decision, I won't use it in the rules. The right, you have to make your rules as much short as you can, because again, like if I put like please create, oh, I already seen in uppercase, but please create a cloud component. This text will pass until every rule that you have, and we'll try to get like if I am following each rule. So the recommendation is you need to have like a short rules, but that provides enough good guidelines for your agent. And the second is because in each iteration that you have with the chat, you will go through rules. Maybe you can like for example, you will require a communication that is not specifically with Farcaster. And if it is with your communication in the rules, it will try to always prioritize that documentation of Farcaster or whatever you put in the rules. So it's not maybe like from my perspective, it's not a good idea to put it in the rule, but put that in the context of the project. You can also use it maybe better even a better place to put it in the PRD. For example, here you can put usage of tools and put like for the creation of the mini app, always refer to and you put the docs of the forecaster miniapp. Also, another good place to put is just in the chat, because it's a momentary like interaction with the documentation. So it's just for that chat specifically. Also, I didn't put it in any place of the slides, but always try to close your chat as much as you can. I think that's one of the reasons that why I prefer Cloud against Cursor, and it's because you have like you can remember that you have a clear I forgot a shortcut for clear all the context, and it's more easy. Here, I always forget to delete the content, the content and the context. So the context is like just getting bigger, big and big. And usually, if you are like in the last section, it will forgot already the first guidelines that you provide. So it's a good practice to, if you are working in a different feature, just create a different chat. Also, that saves tokens. I think that was everything. If anyone want to ask something, I will be returning to chat soon. So that was the first section of recommendations. Yeah, we already covered data management. Well, we were mentioning this also for the guidelines, but it is also good for the errors. Again, this is because it's more easy for them to have a structured way to show us the errors, and it's also for us like it's better to manage JSON. But you can put it whatever you want. Honestly, if you have another format, go on and follow that. So this is already covered. All right, this is the things that I was actually already talking about. How we start like modeling it is the working first on the prompt. You can work on that on separately in ChatGPT or even if you use, I don't know, even Llama or whatever you like to use, it's fine. But I use usually ChatGPT and Grok. That's the ones that work better for me at least. You have also the documentation from. I really like the documentation from Anthropic. It's really good and it's really specific. So you can go and improve your prompt engineering too. It's really fine. This is basically the rules on how to teach your agent to improve itself. This is about the small talk, so it's fine. And actually, I put here a tip that she was mentioning. Try to support always MPC documentation, because it's more easy to understand for the agent, because that documentation is prepared for the agent. Because usually if there is this is the difference. When you are sending documentation for you have images itself, you have hyperlinks inside, and you have a lot of context that is human readable, but it is not really easy to access for the agent. But in this case, they have this version, and it is also have examples of how the flows of the types looks like. So if the documentation provides this, it's really good, and you can just parse. Sorry, you can copy paste directly this when you have any doubt with your agent. Not all the documentation have this for sure, but yeah, I think nowadays a lot of at least in Web3 are moving to also to have this support. So it's really cool. Let's continue, and we will go with the tools. I was mentioning with you this about the how to manage this task and this PRD. So we will do a really little example of this. I prefer this one. This is the one that I use in this report. There is called Taskmaster Dev. Sadly, this requires also another subscription because yeah, one subscription is never enough. On Cloud API, it's not enough to have your Cloud Code subscription, but honestly, it's really cheap. Actually, I can show you how much it spent. Oh, it's console Anthropic, sorry. Like each interaction that you have costs like 10 cents or around of that. So it's not a really is this one. Yeah, so the cost until this that I developed like a previous of MVP of this section is 70 cents. I mean, it's a lot if you think about like an MVP or a hackathon or whatever, but maybe this is even better like when you're working and maybe the company provides you these API keys. Maybe it's better to use on that. But there is also versions, for example, this AI Dev that works directly on the cursor on platform that you have, sorry, in the cursor subscription that you have. So it's basically the same idea. The idea is to create a PRD, as you will see, like, or actually, I don't know if you see. The objective is the same, to create a PRD, and based on that PRD, create tasks, all right? Each of the rules manage it differently, but it's basically the same. But because I like it more, I will explain with Task Master, but I was mentioning is literally the same. They are creating context about a product, right? So for this, I actually didn't delete this. So you can see how I create this PRD. As you can see, I first installed the tool. It's just an npm global. It's really fine. It asks like a little setup of you, like which model you want to use, which alias, where it will be creating the repository. If you want to store task.json or you want to store inside the directory. So this question is like really simple, right? It's not about I'm person. I'm not using any custom version, honestly. I'm using the version that they have for the file. So that's pretty much everything. And it is creating and it's fine. Once that you create the section, you need to create your PRD, and I will show you how I create. All right. So when I was mentioning my workflow, what was the first step? So the first step was to chat with ChatGPT and create the requirements, right? So here I basically paste the requirements that I got, and I say use this example PRD as reference to create my own PRD, right? This is not something that I'm create. This is how the task itself work. Actually, I can show you here. This is the section I was looking for. So it says configure the AI models. I didn't change anything. I just put my M from cloud. So this is everything. Discuss your idea with AI. This is what I do in ChatGPT. So I just copy and paste here directly the idea that I refine with ChatGPT and create a PRD. Again, what is a PRD? A PRD is just a description of what is your product, what is the limitation of the product, what tools you want to use, and that's pretty much everything. And then you start to use the tools of the task. All right, this is the important part. So you have to call parse PRD on the other task. You have a CLI like this, and you parse that that PRD that it is this into task. So I didn't create this JSON. The JSON was created automatically by this tool that is Task Master AI. All right. Then I asked Cursor to expand because initially it comes just with tasks, but not with tasks. And then I just begin to ask, like, all right, start with the work. So how this looks like, I put the parse PRD, it calls internally the tool, it creates the task, then I analyze the complexity to bring more subtasks to bring more details on the subtask, and it gives me like the entire summary. I will just skip this. And all right, what's the next? The next thing that I put, just begin the work, taking this task in order. Let's go for the task number one. And that's pretty much all, honestly. Like I started by that and iterating from task one, task two, task three. And I think I have got a little problem on some place because it was creating an HTML instead of like the React version. And yeah, here I had to ask like, This should be implemented using the core components of Byte, not straight in HTML and JS. Please move to the components. So as you can see, even if I using this, I could have, again, problems, but it is more straight and I don't need to interact a lot. As you can see, I just interact just 3 times from the moment that the task were created and the result that we have. I know it's not a finished result. This got oh, sorry, I cannot zoom out. This was on purpose because I want to continue it with you guys. And actually, we're running a little of time, so I will go a little fast. I don't know if you have another question on this because I know that was a lot of context. So please. Yeah, the GitHub link will be. I will share this, and here I have all the links. So don't worry about that. The only link that I'm missing is the one that was here for. Actually, I forgot for what, but I recorded this session, so I will go back and add also the link that I promised before. Yeah, the tool is really cool. Like you can use a lot of cursor. But going too much, I will just. All right, sorry for that. PRD is like an API. Not really. The PRD is just a description. Do you know how development on works? Like even if it is a big company, you need this manager that comes to you and say, "All right, this is the task that you will have this week." This is basically the management. In this case, you're also the developer and also the manager. So this is like the description that a manager will bring to you. Like, this is the things that I want. This is the I don't know, imagine this is a mobile application. I want this to work in on Android and iOS, and this is the date that I want the code working on. All right. So the PRD is basically a description that a manager will bring to you and to start coding. All right. But now, yeah. So I think the context for developers is bigger now. So we can also create the PRD, and more in this case is that this is an MVP. Yeah, it's like a property. That's maybe a better description. I don't remember what is PRD. Code requirements document. Maybe it's very, yeah, we described what is it exactly. Yeah, I didn't know what it is. So I just currently PRD and go to the live without knowing the description. All right, that was the part that I think is more complex. So hopefully you understand at least the core of this. Don't feel overwhelmed. It's like it's a lot. I know it's a lot of like information at this moment, but honestly, as you can see, I was just following what the tool is requiring from me. So I know it's difficult because I have the chat and I show you like the results itself, but it is just following this. It's really simple, and you will see on your examples that you will get it like really fast. All right. Yeah, I think there is no more questions, so I will just continue. Right. Yeah. Sure. All right. So let's just start like on hands-on. So how let's will like put this like a recommendation as we are in the hackathon itself. So what's my recommendations now in the hackathon itself? I'm not that much in the rule creation of the PRD or whatever. Is that again, to save tokens, it's better if you find a template to use. For example, yesterday I was doing something on a scaffold. So if you want to use a scaffold, it's better. I know there is a big mistake here that I see a lot of tutorials that people create from a totally clear, like, let me show you what I'm saying. Oh, what happened? Oh, I have a lot of. All right, I will probably This what? All right, just ignore. So imagine that this is empty, all right? Totally empty. And a lot of people start from that, like because they think that providing like zero context from zero is better because because the agent will have the entire knowledge about the whole structure that you have. But honestly, it's better if you start from something that is already done and just create a resume for the agent if you want of what it is the project about. What I'm saying about this, for example, a lot of people just start from zero and just use the create app for Next, for example. But using this is like way more better than start from zero directly in the agent. Why? Because just like providing zero context, you first will spend tokens. Second, this is something that like doesn't come with nothing that is new for the agent. Like the next using the next project repository. The repository of Next comes with a simple page that it says "Hello Next app," and it comes with the settings that they just maybe won't touch, like the configurations for how the routing will work, the TS configuration, the linter configuration. So those configuration is something that you don't really need to care about it. So it's a really bad idea if you start from zero. It's better if you start from a framework, or even better if you start from a template or a work that have been done a little progress for you, so you can save those tokens. So everything is about save tokens. That's important here. Then you create your PRD.
In terms of template, especially for Lisk, potentially use scaffold for Lisk.
Yeah. For example, a scaffold I think is a good template to use because you will have also the part of the smart contracts and also the part of the front end already set up. So it's really simple, like for the agent, and it is also separated. Actually, I have this open already. So why a template is good in this case, for example, it could be the scaffold is or any scaffold that you want.
Zoom?
Yes, sorry. So in a scaffold, if you saw it before, we have the package separate of what is the context of the hardhat and what is the context of the Next.js, and it is totally separated. So this will be really cool for the agent to say, all right, this is my limitation of the front end. I don't really need to go to the smart contract section to see like what is the code or the context there, because my limitation is here. And when I move to the smart contracts version, my limitations are here. So that's pretty much a good template to use. But it works on any template that you want. It's not just limited to Scaffold, honestly. So thanks for that. And then it's the things that we were mentioning a lot, like create a PRD, create a high-level task. If you don't want to use any tool like for management, it's fine, but please define your task. I think here in this new version of how to code or Vibecode, it's more important to focus on what we write to the agent than even like code itself. Like, I don't know how much I really code in the last 6 months. I think 95% of the code that I push is in the work and also in the like in MVPs or whatever is done by the AI more than something that I don't. And the things that I have to take the code is because it's something really specific, or just because I got bored on just write to the chat and the chat is not understanding. So maybe it's my mistake, and I say like, all right, this will take me less than how I explain to the chat. So I just take that. All right. I'm not gonna go deep on this because we're running out of time. This is an example of how to go like even more technical on the agents, because maybe you saw that now you can also implement the agents in GitHub. So you don't need even to go to your repository. You can trigger it directly on the repository. But I will skip this because first it's more complex and you need to make more configurations to your agent. And the second is to, honestly, I don't think this is a good idea if you are developing by yourself. This is good for companies, but it's really expensive. I can show you the example, but not the like how to configure it. For example, here I just asked Claudia, please search possible bugs in this PR. The PR is just a change of an animation, so it's really simple. Please tell me if there is any bug or something. That cost me like 24 cents. Could you imagine if you are asking that revision for each PR that you make or each PR version that you made? This could be going huge. So it's not something that you should cover like yourself. In this case, I was doing just test. And and that's for revision. If you ask for a feature, it's even more expensive. Like it's 60 cents per run. So it's a lot. And the things that I was asking here, it was really simple. This was to change, because there was an error of the import. This was to change the import from this to another path. So it was replaced. And you know how easy it is to do this in your console? It's like just to put this, insert the replace, right? Or replaced by this. So it's that. Click the button. It's literally that. But it cost me 60 cents to use the AI. So there is good places to use agent. There is bad places to use agent. I mean, if you're working for a company that have a specific task for do to this, is good. But if you're managing by yourself, it's not. It's definitely not a good idea. This is the stack that I use personally. Cloud Cursor. I don't pay Lovable or BitZero, but I use the free credits that they bring each month. Lovable is really cool to make UI. I love this, but BitZero it's better managed in my context. So if I prefer UI a bit more than any like, if I prefer UI instead of I don't know what's the word. If I prefer AUI instead of like management of the states of code itself, like logic is the word that I was looking for. I will use Lovable. Otherwise, I will use BitZero. This is also a good recommendation. First, if you are not using a template, use Lovable on BitZero because you can use the free version really easy, and then import that on Cloud or Cursor and start from that. Yeah. And we have just 10 minutes, but yeah, we will go. We will go for the.
No reason, like we can go over the time. I mean.
All right. All right. At least let's do one feature. All right, on this to be on the same. You will have the repository that I will be using here. This is the for customer app, and yeah, let's see what I have here. Let me open. I will need this. All right. This is the version that I'm running locally. And if you never develop a Forecaster, what you're doing. But it's really easy. Forecaster has a version to run the mini app. So we will be seeing for now this version here, but at the end we will test it here, right? As we are seeing these in an application of Forecaster. So, all right. What is this about? It's a game. Let me close this PRD. It's a game. Actually, the PRD was about to create a game that you have to guess which is the correct answer for the image that you're showing, and it will bring you a good answer or a wrong answer, and it is giving you points. Right? There is not objective on this. Remember that the reason for this is just to practice how we interact with the AI. So let's see which is the current status. So for that, there is two ways to do this. We can ask the status on the agent. I will recommend this in case that you are new on the repository. But in this case, to save some tokens, we can go direct straight to the task and see what was the last task that was marked as done, or something that I do. But this is because I already know how the task works. See what's the first pending task. All right. If not, you can just go like I said, what is the current status? But let's go like on this fast. So which is the next task? Prepare for deployment. Do I really need deployment? No, right? Because in this case, we're just testing. So we will add another task between to try the, what we can do here actually. All right, I remember this. So what we can see here, we have an error because the text is the same color as the background. This was just in case, not made on purpose. It's something that the agent can have for sure problems, right? And if you can see here also, some images are not shown. For example, what is this? Which mean represents same calming cat situation? What a cat! This is data that the AI itself generates, so I don't know. And this is the options that you have. And it doesn't have sense actually. Destroyed boyfriend, I guess. No. But all right, let's focus on this. So I didn't make this mistake on purpose. It's a really mistake on the AI. So how do you like manage this? First, there is a usually honestly what I will do is send a screenshot like this and ask the AI. Give me a second because I will need to copy and paste this. Oh, all right, I was able from the beginning, sorry. So I will bring the image and I will say, hey, I see that in the options for the boxes, we don't see the text. Will you bring contrast to the text? So this is a very maybe dumb example, but we will run it the agent. But if you want to save tokens, usually you should not run this because this is, if you know how to code at least, this is a very simple mistake, right? It's just to change the color from text white to text black. It's that. But because we are using this to exercise like how we interact with the agent, so that's one of the versions. Another version, if you're, that was the change that he made, so it's good. Another version of this, instead of spend the image, because the image also takes more tokens. Everything is about tokens. You will hear me talk about tokens every time because I think that's the magic about how to really take care of this. Is about how to save the tokens that you're using. Another version, instead of putting the image, because that spend more tokens, is to copy the section and explain the copy element and say, in this component, we are having the text as white and I cannot have enough contrast to read it. Please change. All right, that's the other version. So, all right, it's really good. It's just a change of the colors. So let's do a feature. What we can do here? I don't know if I can hear any suggestions. Let me think of what we can do. Oh, we can work actually on the images. I will do one feature on that, but you can propose another feature on the chat. So let's ask a new task. If you see here, I will again just follow the readme that the same tool has. We have a new task here, but the MCP. MCP is basically the communication that you have with the agent. It's the same that it's not an API, but it is a way that you have to communicate with the agent. As you can see, if I call add task, this internally will interpret a place to go. So in this case, calling add task would go to a specific prompt that is already made by this tool, and this will say, please provide a text for unit task to add. Oh shit, sorry. Oh my English. What you would like to add, right? That's the thing. So this will call here the next task, but actually we should ask the task. Sorry, I forgot to ask the context. So what's the context that I will ask? Add Sorry, I forgot what I was looking here. Oh, it was because I was not showing the image. Yeah, it's because the image I have. I don't know what to add, honestly. I got in a problem of run out at ideas, but I can add a joke on each question to make the user feel more pressure. To don't use this like a thing that is not, that could be anything, let's add some limitations. For example, use write colorful text and add animation on top. And now talking about animations, it's really cool if you provide, I forgot what is it, the tool that I was using. All right, we can use motion. All right, what I want to tell you here is that if you have an idea of what you want, it's really cool. Like, all right, let's bring like what I'm thinking here, for example. All right, this is a dumb question, but it's fine. It's just the example. But I need to also put, I like to put also the context of what I have from this feature from the AI. Imagine that I'm asking, for example, to call an API, right? If I'm calling an API, I will say like, please be sure that or to have error handling, all right? In case that the image is not enabled or is not ready, whatever. So in this case, it's not, but to make the user, that what I'm requiring that is because of this. And also add a lot of description of what is the AI going to take from this. Use bright color text. It's just a reference of the CSS, and I add animation. But which animation I asking for? I will ask to use motion depth for the animation that increase and decrease the size of the text. And I also have to specify what's the animation that I want, right? I know this is a dumb example, but it's just because I want to show you how I put, even in a dumb example, the way I have to think about the task that I want, right? While that work, let's see what are your ideas while this is working on the background. Uh, what was the last? All right. NCPs and memory. Honestly, that's I see that this is not a question, but I think it's not a specific memory. But I'm not gonna go deep on that description because it's basically like an API that bring more context to the things that you have inside. But yeah, I'm not going. It could be interpreted as memory, but its context itself is memory. But yeah, let's not go deep on that. All right, that's cool. I don't know if it was closer, but it's fine. So let's see on this. What is it still thinking? All right, since that my agent got lazy, so let's wait. All right, I don't know. Usually it's fine if you like do other stuff while you just leave the cursor working. It works correctly on the background. Actually, that's another reason why I like Cloud. It's because it's in a terminal. You have a pop-up notification that reminds you that the task was finished. And also in Cloud, you can put a sound, whatever you want at the finish of the task. I'm not sure in cursor you can, but yeah, it's if you are geek enough, you can set that kind of things. And the task was created using using the tool. And let's say I will do a little zoom out. Hopefully you will see it, but it is too much zoom for it for me. Oh, sorry, I closed it. So that's the task number 14, and we can say, please implement the task number 14. Oh, also, as you can see with this task manager, you already have, it will be also analyze the dependencies that the task has, and it will be automatically put some details also from it. By default, it doesn't come with subtasks. For that, you have to go deep on the description. Like if you need something else, or if you ask also to analyze the task and ask for two subtasks, it will generate, but by default, it doesn't come with it. As you can see it here, it will be calling expand task, but it is something that they will do. It's not something that you will be working on. Let's see, just because we have the time here, because anyway, we have to wait. What is the subtask that it will work on? Basically, it will work on the motion depth integration. For example, this is bad. The content data, but I think it will be born, so it will be create a fake database. But maybe we should specify where the jokes should come. For example, this is a mistake from me because I didn't specify which are the jokes. So it's a good thing to go to the task and read what are also your mistakes and bring context. The joke animation system, that's really good. The container, this is for the code. Just display, this is good. Accessibility, this is too much, but it is fine. Accessibility for people that doesn't know it is to make it, for example, the people that it is blind to like use platforms to read it with the navigator. So it's really cool. And user setting to disable and enable animation. So that's pretty much all of the task. And I think it's already done. Yeah, subtask was already created. But it is subtask, sorry. And also you can see that on each iteration, it says like what is done and what it is pending or in progress. This is really cool. Also a good thing to use for the task. I think I mentioned task word like 100 times in this workshop. I'm running out of voice, but it's fine. And let's wait until this finish. I don't know if you have any other questions.
More about for the hackathon, has people have to build on Lisk, but we know that everyone will deploy on base and on Lisk, like it's kinda obvious. The thing is, I'm thinking if they can use mini kits to also deploy basically just a smart contract on Lisk too.
Yeah, the work I was doing here is just honestly having the configuration on this polyethylene, but I didn't bring it yet to the configuration of a smart contract. But like, if we are focusing this on the agent, honestly, this is like the same on everything that you're making. If you're using the minikit, you're using any repository, even if you are using different platforms, like, I don't know, React Native or whatever you have in mind, it works like the same. And the tools are agnostic. So they don't care about what are you building. They care about like what's the description that you put. And maybe this is like really rude to mention, but the code quality that you will have from your projects using agents is how good you are like specifying what you want. So I was mentioning like nowadays I think like the code by itself is more about what context you bring to the code more than how you structure the repository or anything else or the code quality or whatever. It is still working. I thought a joke it will take nothing, but yeah, it's taking some time. But also something that you can realize if you already play a lot with agents is that in this case, it's taking the task entirely. Usually, if I could ask directly without put a task, like, please make a joke component, this will be more fast but it will be incomplete because I will need to iterate a lot of times. And what means iteration? Iteration means more tokens because the same AI will need to cover like the same files that they create before and go and see how we can prepare the new code sections that we want. And it is what yeah, it is still going. I don't know if there's more questions. Just thinking because it's a JSON, you can actually create a VM Mongo and then Docker this instruction instead of being inside your project. Yeah, for sure it's possible. Like that is, I mean, it's not specifically about your question, but I will expand it a little bit. A little problem of that if you're working on different repositories. In this case, you're mentioning that inside the same repo. Like imagine a mono repository, right, where you have the backend and the front end, everything in the same repo. So it's really easy to bring the context. But for example, if you are working in a front end repository and you have another backend repository in a different place, it's kind of complex to make this communication because you will need to bring context from each side, bring context from the front end, and bring context from the backend. Definitely is something that you can do. It's possible. It's really easy to set up, but you have to take that consideration if you're not working in the same place. All right, that was the last. All right, fine. And also that I it is still doing it, but you will see that the same agent is fixing itself. So now you have to take care of what do you do while duration is working, right? For this, I also have Clouded. Usually, when I'm working on some task here, I'm reviewing things on Clouded. Cloud is this. It's also integrated here, but it is using a more CLI version. These are the comments that I was mentioning. For example, the clear. You can make. For me, it's more easy this because I am already accustomed, but I know that this is more interactive if like you are new on agents. But yeah, I usually ask another stuff here while I'm using this. And also you can have multitask working. If I could put there now work on another thing while it was working, it will be also add to the queue. But I I don't really like that of putting like several tasks on the queue because I experiment that honestly you sometimes go like between tasks and it has more mistakes. At least for me, it doesn't work really well. Maybe there's another ways. You can for sure this is about experiment and try this stuff. So maybe you can try and bring a better way for that. And it already finished it. Let me see where I was running. I think it was here. Yeah, right. Let's go back and see if it put the things that we were adding. I don't see any joke here. Do you see any joke here? Maybe I'm the joke. No. Let's see what was the changes and why it didn't work. Joke display. So this is the thing that we are saying. Sorry, we are looking for. Dark display. Where is this imported? This is imported. Why it's like this? Let me check. Anyway, this is good because you will see that you have a lot of mistakes. All right, maybe it's because it has mistakes here, but let me check. No, Java display is correctly imported. It should go below question round. So here, maybe it's the color. Let me check that. No, actually, I can. All right, now that I see that the show display is actually imported and it is just below here question, it should appear here, right? So for some reason, it's not rendering. So what I will do is basically put it that the things that I'm seeing, I have to pass the context to the chat, right? Hey, I cannot see the joke display component. And to pass context to AI, this like maybe it's really easy. You have to put at and put the file that you want to show to work with the AI. In this case, play screen. Why is this good? Because in this, if I don't put this, the AI will have to go to the entire repository and search where I'm using this Joe display component. But if I pass this, it will be go directly and straight to play screen and see what is happening here. So hey, I cannot see the Joe component. It will be a rendering problem, or the contrast is just not enough. So I like to put also my questions because otherwise it will be go through through a lot of iterations. But let's see what is. Also, we can go manually and see. Maybe it was not even rendering. No, but the container is here. So something else is happening. Yeah, and the jokes are also enabled. I didn't know that the jokes were enabled, but it is really easy to learn, right? Because this settings button was not here before. Save settings. Let's see what it's doing. There is a linting error. So, all right. The reason that it is not showing is because there is a linting. So what we have learned here is that even if you put the task, even if you have to like a lot of iterations, you will see that you are able to have mistakes. So you have to review each task that you create on it. So let's see. That is something good to happen here because I honestly hate that. It's more usually to have in cursor. I don't see that in cloud like a long time ago. But when the AI doesn't know what it is the problem, it adds at the book version, and I hate that. Also, you see that it's working now, but the animation is too fast, right? The animation is too fast. I cannot even read the text. So yeah, that's the way how we trade. But we saw that the joke is here. I cannot read it what it put, but it will fix it. So I think this will be the last iteration on that, and that's fine. You saw how I work with that, and I know this a dumb feature. Sorry, because my creativity was bad. But yeah, I don't know if you have any other questions related to that. We will be closing it here. Let me also check. I think I don't have anything else. Yeah, I don't have anything else. This slides was in memory of Stack Overflow because no one else is using it anymore. But yeah, that's everything for the workshop. Please follow me on Twitter. I always forget to put this, and I don't have followers. Yeah, that was all. If you have any question here, just send me a DM, and I will be more than happy to help you. Also on the Dev3Pack Telegram group. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Nice. It was like so complete with some information. So any like anytime everyone will go back to the recording session, I guess, to follow really our steps and everything. And so if potentially you can put like on a little Notion or something like this, all key links will be useful for everyone.
Yeah, remember that I now remember what I was missing here is where to take the rules. Or there is a GitHub that is really interesting for that. But remember that all the links that I show are already here. all the things that have this little icon has the reference of where I took the information or the links that you should see. Even the mini app game, you have to click here and you will go to the repository straight there. So don't worry about that. I just have one pending link that is how to create the rules, and I will be adding that after this workshop.
So basically for next step, like imagine someone want to create an app on Lisk right now. Is it great like to start with a mini app template and then polish this one, etc., etc.? Yeah, how you feel about it? Because as you will be the judge, I will be judge too. But as you are in the Lisk side, you have more insights.
So it really depends of what I want to build. For example, I was looking for any template for different stuff, but I think the more easy one to use is the scaffold list, but that limits you to use a web page application, right? So if you want to use another stuff, maybe you want to do an application itself, like you don't want to use any Farcaster or whatever, you won't find a good template. But something that you have to keep in mind for our track, that is Founders track, is that we really care about like more about the the product itself. Like we will be really analyzing the ideas that you have for the product, because what we are searching for is a long-term project. Even if you have, for example, already a project, honestly, I don't remember how are the rules, because usually in hackathons you have to explain that you have already an application and you will be working on a specific feature on the hackathon. But for example, that is a good place to just reuse your team and just make it more productive. But yeah, in resume, we will be like taking a lot of importance of the ideas. But anything that you will doing on the List ecosystem is fine. If you just link it on the smart contract wherever you want to deploy it, it's to use it. Sorry, it's fine.
Yeah, and for your information, I will do like a specific session about that on Friday. I push on Friday instead of Saturday for the ideation parts. And so you will understand that on Nisk, everything is like you can be free to build whatever you want, like compared to other ecosystem like I would say Base, because Base is already big with some project application, etc. So you can take a look at this application, for example, on Base, and see what is missing on the Lisk ecosystem to make it happen. And then you can also like deploy on Lisk on Base in the same time. There is no worries about it.
Yeah, for us, honestly, it's fine. Basically, what we're looking is founders that want to play on long term, and if you are one of those, it's fine. Also, our prices are focused on that. I think we already showed that on Fluid, right?
Uh,
Yeah, I showed that before. We have the founders house, so and also in the price slots and ticket traveling expense. So we're really focused on bringing to those founders the tools and the things that they will need to really convert their ideas in projects that could be really be useful for the ecosystem.
and basically, is it like a requirement to deploy smart contracts on Lisk?
I was talking a lot with Santiago with this. It won't be a prerequisite, but you for sure have to be like pointed on this ecosystem at somehow, right? Even if you don't deploy it and you are evaluate an idea, all right, tell us how this will be linked to the List ecosystem, even if you didn't deploy it right now, in the future, let's say. So as much as you have that in mind, it's fine. Uh, for sure, if you already have like the startup of how you will be, how that implementation looks like, I think it's better. But yeah, it's not a requisite as much as it has to take care of the how it will be your product link with the list. It's fine. that's if we put a requisite, that's the only one that is there. I think they say no previous code. Oh, sorry for that. So yeah, you have to create a new project.
All right, all good then. So let's wrap up the session, and I know you have another one in 2 hours in Spanish. So yes, Vinicius want to say something. Sorry.
Hey, thank you, Duxie. Thank you, Celine. Thank you very much, Ayrton. Such a great class. I have a question related to the agents, like under the modeling agents for expertise, creating specialists on your website. I I I use Cloud Code, and I think one of the most benefits is using agents in parallel. But I am getting a lot of problems with token usage. Like on your example, you use it only Cloud 4 Sonnet. And my question is, how can we define which model will be best for achieving a task? Like, so we can uh, not only organize our task handling, but also the token usage.
Right, that is a really good question. I don't think there is like a correct answer here. For example, for the things that you mentioned of the parallel agents, I think I mentioned, I'm not sure, but I don't really like the feature. I don't know if it's because like the as you mentioned, like the tokens, I feel like the tokens is just drawing. But also I feel like I made more mistakes, like because I manage in different contexts at the same time. I feel like it has more problems itself. I know there is this thing that they recommend to use it in a totally separate feature, so the files will never be touched for the same execution. But even in that, like in big repositories that like for explaining for a work, I got problems. And related to the agent, honestly, that depends on how do you want to manage. The usual is Cloud 4 or even 3.5 for validation to code and to interact with the chat or review box or something. I use GPT-5. It's not as something that is because it's about the context, right? So I think it's more easy to bring like this conversation with GPT. But for example, using GPT-5 for code, it's a mess. I hate GPT or even Grok for code. Cloud is really good for cloud. If yeah, the others I use for content. But if I'm real, like real, it's weird when I change this. Usually it's when I am like in a cycle and I don't know, like I already explained like to the chat 3 times what I want and it's not understanding, so I change the model to try to put it in a different words maybe, or try to have a different perspective, and then I go back to cloud. But I don't switch a lot of the models. Oh, we have the context windows here. Yeah, GPT-5 is more. It's by not that much, but it's more. Oh, the only thing that you never should use if you are using Cursor for the rest is putting this in auto, because it will be always choose the one that is better for them and not for you. Disabled automatically and put Cloud 4. Cloud 4 is my recommendation. I mean, maybe you like GPT-5, but at least a lot of people also in Twitter was telling bad things about GPT-5, like to code. Yeah, hopefully that
Awesome. Thank you
answered.
very much.
Right. Right. Thank you everyone for joining, and yeah, see you next time. And good luck on the hackathon.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Tschüss. Bye bye.
Bye bye.